Hello, friends. Delphia here. As you know, I am constantly on the search for deeper meaning in my life and in my world, wanting to achieve this sense of understanding, of feeling whole. There's this perpetual yearning for knowledge, a grasping at the lessons of life. I'm always surprised at how much I still don't know, and yet that's part of the process of living, isn't it? That we learn a little and then discover there's still more to learn. But I don't think we can negate the few lessons we do come across, no matter how young or old we are. So I have to ask, what are some of the life lessons you have learned? If you could, what wisdom would you impart to your younger self? I thought about this a lot this week and collected a few gems that I think you'll agree with. Maybe these lessons are new to you, or maybe they're lessons you've learned yourself but could use the reminder, in an episode I'm calling Life Lessons. Money won't buy you happiness, and it won't solve all of your problems. This is one life lesson that I know to be true, and yet I don't always believe it. I still find myself thinking, if I just earned a little more, had a little more, could buy a new car or afford to fix more things around my house, then what? Then I'd be happy? Friends, happiness is not a new car or a new roof. Yes, there is a sense of achievement with certain purchases, but things are simply that, things. Money won't solve all of your problems. Yes, it may create some breathing room, an opportunity to work a little less, to dream a little more. But if you're unhappy at your core, you will continue to be unhappy with or without money. If you're worried about money, make a plan to address that worry, to pay down your debt, to work harder to achieve your financial goals. But understand that your problems are bigger than money, because your life is bigger than money. Work on strengthening your sense of self, on improving your relationships, on nurturing the things in your life that already bring you joy, because those things, they don't cost a dime, and they're more precious than gold. You can't please everyone. Again, this is another life lesson I struggle with. I know it to be true, and yet I still find myself getting all worked up when I've somehow displeased or disappointed someone. You can't please everyone. You are human, so you will do human things. You will make mistakes. You will make choices or have opinions that not everyone agrees with. This is not a bad thing. It's our diversity that makes up for the richness of life. It's when you try to overcorrect or compromise who you are that you're truly doing a disservice, because again, it's our differences that make life worth experiencing. Be open to other viewpoints, other life experiences, yes, but don't live your life in a way that placates those around you. Don't lose yourself in the version of you that others want you to be. The people who truly value you for the variety you bring to their world. So keep being you. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. How many of you out there are one to hold a grudge? Now, really think about this. How has that served you? There are a few people in the course of my life that I've had falling outs with, whether it was that they wronged me in an unforgivable way, or that they were completely toxic forces in my life, or in some cases, both. I can think of one person in particular, and for years I held a grudge against this person. If I'm being honest, my blood still boils a little bit at the thought of them. But a year or two ago, I made the conscious decision to just let it go. I had already let them go, but had I really? As I like to say, they were still renting space in my head. They were still putting anger in my heart. They were still a part of my life, even if I had cut them out of my life. And this person? They had moved on. They had forgotten. They were out living their life. They were thriving. So friends, my next life lesson to share with you: holding a grudge just isn't worth it. Perhaps you don't necessarily need to cut that particular person out of your life. Maybe bridges can be rebuilt, trust can be reestablished, and a relationship can be renewed. But either way, holding a grudge isn't worth the pain and hurt you carry with you, and it will rob you of the joy and happiness you want for your future. Learn from what happened, let it go, and then get back to living your life. When it comes to friendships, it's quality, not quantity. I've lived in a few big cities in my life. I lived in Philadelphia in my early 20s, followed by a stint in Nashville. And I remember thinking during those times in my life, if I didn't have a lot of people to call or hang out with, I wasn't doing something right. I wanted a stacked stable of friends. I was a musician, so I met a lot of people at clubs or at parties, and I collected a lot of names in my phone. But what really happened? I had a lot of people who wanted to go out drinking with me, or who wanted to borrow money, or who would text me questionable photos at odd hours of the night. I had a lot of people in my life that I only sort of liked and who only sort of really knew me. Now I'm in my mid-30s, and I don't think it matters how old you are when you realize this. It's that you realize. It's better to have a smaller circle of truly good friends than a lot of pretty lousy ones. I have about 5 or 6 people that I talk to regularly, that I feel like I truly know, that I truly care about, that I would be there for in a heartbeat, and that I know I could expect the same from in return. Life demands too much from us sometimes, so it's important that the time we do have available is devoted to people who pour into our lives as much as we pour into theirs. It's important to feel understood, to feel loved, to have people who make you laugh, and who you can talk to for hours about nothing and everything. If you don't have that, I suggest beginning to foster those kinds of friendships. They're the ones you'll keep for life. You are the only you you're ever going to be. Sidebar, I get it. I'm 35. Some of you may be thinking, what could she possibly know about life? Well, friends, I don't think you're ever too young or too old to learn some of what life wants to teach us. And so I'm just happy to share some of my experiences in the hope that it might save you from some of my mistakes and help us all move toward living our best lives. The next lesson to share with you: invest in yourself. You only get this one go at being the you are in this very moment. So invest in yourself. Invest in your health. Work out, eat healthy, take time for self-care. Also invest in your education, whether that's taking classes or reading or just learning about the world around you. Invest in making yourself the strongest, smartest, most well-rounded, best version of you. And be willing to bet on yourself too. Be willing to take risks, to follow your dreams, to take chances on the things you want to achieve. Remember, no one ever got to the end of their life and was grateful for all the things they didn't do for themselves or all the chances they didn't take. In case you need to hear it or don't believe it, you will love again. And this is one lesson I wish I could tell my younger self, and tell her 10 or 15 times at that. I have had some hard falls when it comes to relationships. I have loved deeply and lost just as deeply. And each time I thought to myself, I will never love like this again. But it's not true. You will. I have. And each time I began to learn more and more about myself and began to link up with partners that honored more of who I was and who I was becoming. But friends, here's the kicker. You always have the chance to love again, because it doesn't just have to be about romantic love. If you find that there's a love void in your life, then pour love into the other people in your life. Strengthen the love for your parents, or your brother or sister, or your children, or your best friends. Go to the local animal shelter and adopt a homeless pet because they need love too. Or go and volunteer at a local organization and put love into the world. And you may find, with time, that the next romantic love will find its way into your life. But either way, you will love again. Friends, that's going to do it for me. I want to thank you for tuning in. May we continue to discover all of the lessons that life has for us. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like. And if you'd like to enjoy more content from me, be sure to subscribe to this channel. And hit the little notification icon if you want to stay up to date with when new videos are posted. If you've got suggestions for topics you'd like discussed on this channel, please feel free to drop me a line at delphia@delphia.live. That's Delphia at DELPHIA.live. I'm Delphia, and thanks for watching.